Hey guys, Romie here, so please like, comment, subscribe. This is, of course, my review for Power, Season 4, Episode 4. We're in this together. Now, the episode starts off with, actually, Tommy is staying over at, Ghost and Tasha's house because he's there to support the kids, help the kids, and help her as well. Ghost wants him to keep an eye out for her. And it's interesting because I'm thinking, Keisha's not going to like this, which is dumb. It's really dumb. So Keisha actually texts him, and he's like, oh, no, this is something work-related. She goes to get Tariq up. His version of getting Tariq up. Reek, you awake? I said, Tommy, stop it. Ghost is working out right now, and I'm like, okay, he's doing his sets in the jail. Look, Charlie Murphy, like I said, the fact that this is his last role that we can see before his untimely death, unfortunately, I said, why do we not like, why was there a role where we didn't like him? His teeth are amazing. They're so white, it hurts my eyes. It's just so beautiful. But aside from that, to focus on something positive, when he was doing that mess to Ghost. Ghost is doing his bench press in the gym. Here comes Charlie Murphy's character. Go and say, oh, so you think you big and bad. When Ghost is looking at the camera, and Charlie was like, no, the cameras haven't worked. They haven't worked since a year, since that last person who had his untimely demise in the gym, who was also a cop killer. Guess what? In here, you're just a punk. No one cares about you. You're gonna die. Something's gonna happen to you. You're gonna be my little B. So get your butt up here. I said, you know what? This is too much for me. This is too much for me. I'm emotionally spent. So we'll move on to some other mess. Angela's talking to the guys, and the guys are kind of ranking on her. And she was like, you know what? I don't think we should go the Tasha route, because at the end of the day, she's loyal to him, and I just feel like it's not right. And they're like, look, how you feel and about Greg and about James, you're already been compromised. You don't know what to feel, because there's been so many people in you. This is Sax now essentially saying there's been so many people in her that how could she think clearly? I said, it hurts me because I'm like this one woman standing up to all these men. Part of me is like, you better go. And then the other part, the main part's like, but this is Angela, so she needs to get this. Say more. Say more to her. And their whole thing is they're trying to figure out an angle. Because they're like, all right, so are you in or out? Because Mike, you believe he's bad. Sax, you believe he's bad. John, you believe, all right, we all want him to get the Neil. Right, Angela? Yeah, I guess so. And I'm like, oh. So then John wants to go and speak to her. Mac wants to go and speak to her. Mock wants to speak to her alone. And he was like, look, you went and gave Ghost a deal. You went, again, I knew that you didn't like to follow the rules, but what would have happened if he took the deal and I rejected it? You know how stupid that would look? And it's just like, you know what, I knew I should believe all the things that they said about you. I said, yeah, you should though, because she's trash. Like, Angela, oh. But shout out to the show. They're another YouTube channel, and they do power reviews amongst other things as well. They got to go and hang out with part of the cast of Power, and so that globe is real. Shout out to Tiffany and Tanea. Like I said, they're also fellow YouTubers. Now, Ghost is talking to Terry, and as well as Proctor. Proctor, I feel so bad for Proctor. Proctor does so much. Terry's trying to figure out, all right, so you say it's not your gun, right? You sure it's not your, are you sure it's not your gun? Yes. So we'll leave that alone for a second. Who is Julio and Andre? Oh, two people that I helped. One I helped to get out of the hood. He was doing some bad stuff. Another person who I previously employed. And the current guy who's there, Dre, he helps run the clubs. And it's like, oh, so you're just the hood's Red Wine Hood, giving back to the hoodlums. And I said, so what's wrong with that? I understand how it looks at the jewelry, even though that is the actual case with them being sketchy. But still, I understand Terry's role. But I still don't like him because he's one of those people who really looks at Ghost like, you trash, and I know it. I know you are. I know you are. And then he's just saying, as far as you know, it's not your gun. You're not guilty. Are you playing games with us? Why would I be playing games with you? This is my life you're talking about, not simply with I said, no, no, no. And Terry said, that's it. Angry black man. You cannot go and do that in front of the jury. You got it? So you need to calm that all down. I said, all right. He is trying to help in his own messed up way, but he also doesn't like Ghost. And Ghost knows it. And that's part of the issue because now they're going to have to. Anywho, Proctor and Ghost are talking because then Terry goes and leaves because he's going to see what he can do with the gun, work his magic. And Proctor is just like, look, I'm going to go and give Tommy what? Yeah, have Tommy talk to these guys and check to see what his connection is because with the, what was it, the Celese family, because there's just something wrong. There's something off with this Tony character. Yeah. So, because, yeah. Celeste, actually. Now, Julio, he goes over and he's talking to Cristobal, who's involved with the Celeste. And I said, oh God, Cristobal, stop talking. Stop talking right now because you're irritating me. You're irking me. He's looking at Julio like, so why did Tommy go and do that to when Julio said, oh, so you ran on Dominican time. But talking to Cristobal's like, Tommy needs to chill because he hurt one of my dudes. Again, Julio didn't know this, but it's just like, well, your dude went and hurt one of mine, so it's different tats. Like, well, you know, I'm trying to go and stop fires. The reason why I'm late is because I need to go and calm my people down, and you need to go and handle that Tommy thing. Because the thing is, you think you have this title, but you don't. You don't have the respect that you think you have. That's why I don't respect you. That's why Tommy doesn't respect you. He didn't say it in those exact words, but he might as well have. So now Julio's like, oh God, now I have to go and get these people respect. Oh Jesus, save me! I said, Julio, just don't. Julio, playing this calm is very important. Don't do too much, please. Don't do too much. So then again, which I think is a horrible idea, Proctor meets up with Tommy. I said, someone has to be telling them. Someone has to know that they're meeting up with each other. Someone has to, because they can't. This is out in the open. Come on now. Proctor has to let Tommy know that we're in this issue of Ghost has been outed by this Tony guy. And this Tony guy, I don't know what his involvement is. I just know that he wants Ghost to give him $20,000 a week. I said, no, Ghost doesn't have the cash flow for that right now. No, what I know, Ghost does not have the cash flow for that right now, period, even if he wanted to. So now Tommy needs to go over there, do the drop, because he asked for you implicitly. I said, Tommy said, wait, who? Yeah, I don't know this guy, but yeah, so just keep your surroundings, make sure everything's cool. Again, Tommy doesn't really trust Proctor, so he just feels like, oh, so you're trying to set me, or what if this guy's trying to set me up? Look, I don't know, but we just need to go and keep this guy quiet for now. He said, all right, if anything goes, you know what happens. You know, it's your head, you know it's your wife's head, you know it's your daughter's head. You know, anyone can get it at this point. Anyone can get it at this point. Here goes Angela wanting to meet up with Tasha. So Angela's sitting down in the coffee shop. Tasha strolls in, knocks on the window like, hello, come on. We're not good girlfriends. Get out here. So she gets out there. And the conversation essentially goes like this. Angela was trying to appeal to Tasha's, feelings and the fact that Tasha's been lied to and that Jamie has constantly gone and said these things about how, oh, I love you, baby. I want you to be my baby. And then went over to Tasha being like, I love you, baby. I want you to be my baby. And she spills the beans that Ghost got an offer for a deal. Tasha, clearly you could tell from her eyes that she didn't know. But she's trying to act like, oh, yeah, of course I knew. And he didn't take it. Oh, yeah, of course not, because he didn't do anything wrong. Why would he take a plea deal if he didn't do anything wrong? She said, look, this is your family we're talking about. You're really willing for him to go down for something that he did. He's a liar. He's a manipulator. And I know you're not stupid because he doesn't like the stupid type. I said, ew. She just complimented herself as well. Oh. Jesus. And this is Sunday. Oh, God. Oh, Lord. Game of Thrones. I will be doing a Game of Thrones review for this season just like the last season. So stay tuned for that as well. Oh, that's going to be lit. Oh, God, thank God Power comes out earlier because I don't know if I could handle all this foolishness. So she essentially says, Tasha, we're on the same side. Um, I'm not your enemy. He's essentially the enemy. The system's essentially the enemy. I looked at her like, just stop talking, please, because I don't want to hear anything else you have to say. And then we see Reek. He's still with Kanan and them. He's still getting drunk off of that lean. And they're going to go and they're going to do a job soon. They're going to go and essentially get all of Reek's friends and take money from them. I said, how long? Come on, Kanan. The cops aren't stupid. They'll figure out, wait a minute. Why is that each and everything that this boy has had a connection with all of them? They're going to piece it all together, and they're probably, oh, Lord, Reek gets put in jail by the end of the season. Half of me won't be mad, but I'm like, Tasha doesn't deserve this. Raina doesn't deserve this. Ghost, no. Jamie, James, maybe them. So now Tommy goes and has this conversation with Julio. So it's like, wait a minute, so everyone have their bag ready? Wait, where's Dre? Dre doesn't have his bag ready? Oh, Lord, you better handle that. That's your job now. Yeah, but why'd you go and do that stuff the crystal balls do? Like, I understand you need some type of retribution, but you didn't let me know. Look, all of this is your problem now. You were the one that's supposed to go and handle it. You didn't handle it. Not to handle it for you. I looked at Tommy like, I said, Julio, stop it. You know Tommy's crazy. Just back off. And I said, so what's, again, with this whole, you were in the feds, you were talking to them longer than Dre? And Julio said, look, did Dre tell you that I snitched? Tommy said, I never said anything about snitching. And Dre didn't say anything to me. I said, okay, good cover, even though we know that's a lie, even though we know he heard that part from Dre. It's smart. He's not trying to get them to feud. He's smart. He's smarter than we give him credit for. In comes Keisha like, okay, what's good? Wait a minute, that Angela chick wanted to meet up with you, and she did what, with who, what, where, when, what? So yeah, she's trying to go and see that Ghost guy deal off, and he didn't let me know. But you know what, Tasha? Maybe you need to go and figure out a deal of your own. Maybe you need to make sure that you and the kids are good. I said, Keisha, I understand you're Tasha's friend, so that's what you care most about. But come on, let's stop the mess. And Keisha was also trying to figure out, oh, so Tommy was over here? Because Keisha is one of those people where I feel like she really is jealous of Tasha, and she thinks that whatever Tasha has, Keisha gets leftovers. And maybe that's how it was for them growing up, that Tasha was the one that kind of used and abused Keisha per se, but didn't see it that way. So now that they're older, Keisha's just like, you know what, this chick has always done this to me. Julio went over to get the bag from Dre, and so like, I'm sorry, I had some club business. Oh, okay. But what's this whole thing about you going and talking to Tommy about, Julio was in with the feds longer? Dude, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm on your side. Tommy's been bugging. Again, he's deflecting. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't say that. Tommy's been bugging. And he says, yeah, Tommy has been bugging. And Tommy did say, no, Dre didn't do that. So they're on the same page. See, that could have backfired. But he's like, you know what? I know who Tommy is. Tommy's dumb, but he's not. I mean, Tommy's smart, and he's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but he's not stupid. And he really isn't dumb. He really isn't. So I'm going to play it like I'm going to pin all sides against each other. Slowly but surely, I'll get my footing. He'll need that for what's about to happen next. Tasha has to come to the jail and say, oh, so I heard you got a present. Someone offered you a present and you didn't take it? Oh, yeah, it's funny because that present involved me and the kids, and you didn't think that we'd be set for it? Well, trust and believe. Here's how this goes. I was over the present by your ex, by your Angie chick. And I didn't accept it because I know where my loyalty is. So I wanted to make sure that you know where yours is. Next time you get any type of presents, James, make sure I'm aware. Okay? Okay? So now, Angela has to go and run to Mock and say, yeah, I couldn't do my job. She's a tough nut. She's not going to crack. And they said, okay, whatever. Here comes Mike Sandoval along with Sax. Oh, Mike irritates me too. But Sax is just stab. Mike stab for different reasons. He should have played it differently. They're like, they got this message from Proctor that Proctor wants to suppress the gun as evidence. And I said, well, soon enough, you're going to want that to be done too. Now, Cristobal comes to the club. I said, why are you coming to a club? Why are you coming to a club? Dre's like, so what are you doing here? yo, I need to talk to you about Julio and Tommy. Like, they're bugging. I heard that you weren't at the meeting as well. Yeah, I wasn't because I had some club business. Oh, that's it. And then here comes Sue, like, oh, someone talking about Julio, my dude. She's like, oh, well, you know, if you need anything, let me know. I said, oh, I know you're there to snitch. I know you're there to snitch, and I'm halfway here for it, and I hope that's the angle that they go with, because that's supposed to be Julio's girl, kind of. And so Dre's like, he smells blood? So what's this thing about Julio messing up? Because he wants to be a new distro. Reina's in her brother's room trying to check to see, just like a concerned parent. Like, something's off with this dude. What is this? Freak's so stupid. Not dumb, but stupid. He leaves an envelope halfway etched into his bed frame. And Reina's like, what's all this money? Where'd you get this money from? Where'd you get these new headphones from? Because no one here bought it. And he was like, oh, you're so stupid. Get that out of my room. F off. I said, someone get him. Get him now. Because he's doing way too much. He's doing way too much. The next scene in the court was hilarious. I cackled. Proctor owned him. So here's how this goes. Agent Donovan, you know, the black one. He essentially was in charge of this whole little getting the case, signing off on all of the warrants, putting the evidence away. And Proctor said, oh, let's see what we can do with this. So Proctor essentially went as follows. You're the one that went, you got the warrant to go and look through his club. You're the one that went and found the evidence. You're the one that was also friends with Knox or close enough with Knox. And I see how it is. You had a chip. You figured, oh, there's a connection. There's a connection between Angela and Angela, James, and Knox. Well, then maybe I can exploit that. Maybe I can pin it on. Because remember, at some point they do acknowledge the fact that well, that's a little bit later. So we'll take this a little bit later. But Proctor essentially gets Donovan shaken. It's just like, oh, so maybe it's you. Maybe you're the one that was the mole. Because Mike, when he heard maybe it's you, was like, what? What, me? No. Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe you're the one that planted the evidence. You wanted to make sure that the cameras were off so that you could go plant the evidence. I said, okay, Proctor, you're almost there. Just look over to your left and you'll see the real person, but you're almost there. Donovan is pissed. He's like, what the bleep are you talking about? You and bleep, that mother effer. How dare he? He's the one that went and killed this person, that person, and I did it. And I know he did it. He must have done it. He had to have done it. But George is looking at him like, dude, you forgot you're in court? So then they take him off the stand because he just blew his shot. He just blew his shot. Everything's in shambles. They're like, oh my God. Proctor's just like, Ghost is like, oh my God. That's why I love that dude. That's why I trust that dude. Max freaking out because he's like, dang, we have to find a different angle now. Tommy goes over to, to Tony's wife's house, and this guy answers the door. This guy who looks like he definitely could have been involved in some type of mess. And Tommy's going him. Tommy's like, oh, I know you must have done something. Or you must have snitched, because the rest of them, they're only walking free because they snitched. Your dude Tony was the only one that didn't say a word. He was like, no, I ain't no snitch. I said, oh, God, you just admitted that you're part of this mess. Okay. I was like, okay, so were you part of this one? Were you part of that one? Were you part of the, what was it? The, Celese, and he flinches, and so does the wife. It's like, oh, so it's that one. Okay, all the money's here. You can go now. You can go. Thank you. You can go. Thank you. Because Tommy's looking around. He's trying to get as much information as he can. And the wife wants him to go because she's like, who is this? When he got on the phone, I'm going too far ahead. Proctor gets a call from Greg's friend, and Greg's friend's like, look, I have some information you're going to want to hear, and they said it was admissible, that's why they didn't want to use it. I just want to make sure that Greg is free and clear, and if you're working the angle of the fact that Greg wasn't the killer, then maybe we can work together. It's like, okay, but I want to meet at your house, because I'm not stupid. I'm not going to do this out in the open. I can't be seen with you. Tony's friend tells him that all the money's here, the bag's secured. We can go and do the call so that your wife can get the treatment, And yeah, it was him, dude. I know for sure it was him. He was like, oh, you sure? Yes, I'm sure. Okay. Connie hearing, wow, how did I just remember her name now? Connie hears that and says, so who is he? Now I've been married to this dude for what was it, 40 years? Dang, for 40 years, and he just told me everything. But now all of a sudden he's in jail and all this weird stuff's going on and he's not telling me stuff. You need to tell me or get out of my house. He was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna be leaving. But you know who was coming over? That's why I said I knew it, that Tommy was connected to these dudes. Some people are like, oh, no, he's not. Yes, he is. He's connected. And this dude knows Tommy. He's like, he said, yeah, he has to be so-and-so. So there must be some type of relation. The mom must have done something. It must be related to someone. Maybe he's like Tommy's father's brother. Who knows? But there's a strong relation there. Next thing we know, we see Keisha. She's leaving out of the back, and she gets spooked, like, what the? Because Tommy rolls up on her, and Tommy's just like, look, you want me to come in and, do nasty? She said, wait a minute. So you went and slept over at Tasha's house, even though we were sleeping maybe like an hour or two before that. And he's like, no, Ghost asked me to do that. I was like, there's nothing weird going on between you. Stop that mess. I said, Keisha is a weak link. I like her. I really like her this season, but she's a weak link right now. You need to make sure you keep her happy. That sex scene was weird. I don't know why. It just seemed weird to me. Maybe it was because it was in a chair, so of course it's not like they could be doing like some porn star professional stuff, but it just seemed a little off to me. Maybe it was meant to feel that way. Maybe. Reek, he's going, and again, someone who's supposed to be his actual friend, or maybe close enough of a friend. I'm trying to remember, was he one of the boys that, I think maybe he was one of the boys that was in that group that was bullying Raina. Maybe, it is possible. It is possible. That's how kids are sometimes. It's like, fine one day, not cool the next. Or maybe the guy thinks, oh, maybe this school's cool because they're ditching school. This is clearly the middle of the day. So he sees the security code. He texts it to Kanan. Kanan and his dude gets out. And all these white people are looking at him like, you do not belong here. You do not. Even if there might have been a black couple as well. Like, these dudes, not here. Not here. And daycare something in my butt. So then they get one of the other people in on the scam, a fellow police officer. Like, hey, what are you doing here? Oh, I'm here to go and do a service. Oh, okay. Well, you need to make sure that you're out by a certain time because you don't have the proper permits. So then that's when everyone else is so comfortable, like, oh, okay, the cops got it? Okay, cool. I said, wow. That color blue is strong. Really strong. And Reek's trying to distract his friend. He's giving him some lean. I'm thinking, Lord, this is going to backfire. You can't. What if this dude bugs out and it's like, oh, Reek gave it to me? But Reek's trying to distract his friend, but his friend's hearing some weird sounds even though they're playing video games. So then he runs downstairs, Reek does, and says, shh, shh, I'm trying to keep him distracted. Stop it. It's like, oh, it's just a cat. It knocked over something. All good. I'll clean it up. I was like, go. And Kanan's laughing because he's loving this. He's like, Lord, I'm going to implicate this boy so bad. Or, Lord, this is the son I wish I could have had. Now, Proctor is trying to reassure Tommy that, look, oh, Tommy, you have the information? He gives it to Proctor. And it's like, look, what else did you get from him? I know that they had something to do with the Celese crime. They definitely were involved with that. It's like, fine, good. Anything else? I don't know yet. It's just something off. Well, what are you doing in there? Don't worry about it. Remember, Proctor has always kept putting it in Ghost's head that, that option of Tommy being put out, that's an option. Throw him under the throw him under the jail, under the bus. Ghost is like, no, I am loyal to Tommy. Tommy is my ace boom cool. Tommy is my guy. Tommy is my guy. So now that Ghost is talking to Proctor again, and it's just like, look, so here's what's going on. We're trying to go see if we can get the gun thrown out. I definitely am getting Charlie Murphy's character out of here. We're going to get him transferred. So you'll at least be good on that front. I said, thank you, Jesus, for small miracles. Thank you for small miracles. It's like, you still need to trust Terry enough. It's like, no, I trust you. Look, he does good work. He'll make it work. But here's how this works. I'm not flipping on Tommy. all the information is here. Okay, cool. All the information is here. We're gonna go and see what else we can dig up on the was it the Celese guy. But right now, that's all we have. So we're gonna move forward from there. I feel so bad for Tasha. So now Tasha, she was at the school and she was like, "Oh, there's that high fidelity principal." Because the parents were looking at her like, like, "Excuse me, excuse me." Yeah. So here's how this actually works. What are you doing with the security outside the school? I mean, my kids, they were just the fact that happened to Raina with the paparazzi. The principal said that's never happened to the school before. You know, your incarcerated husband situation was made public. I said, she's another one that she can get 5 minutes outside. If you're not from New York, you don't understand what that means. 5 minutes means meet me outside so I can beat your butt. That's what it means. So now it's a couple of people that can get 5 minutes at least. I'm not going down the list yet, but I will. And the principal said, "Look, speaking of you saying that you doing all this, doing that for the school and all that money, your tuition check bounced. Yeah, that 35K, yeah, that bounced." Excuse me? Yeah, it bounced. And then we tried it again. We even talked to the bank to see if there was an issue. Yeah, they said your funds are dried up. I mean, they're frozen. Sorry. And I said, "Oh, God, no. Oh, no, I see where they're going with this. I see where they're going with this." So then Tasha said, "Oh, okay." Because the principal said, "Is there anything else?" No, there's nothing else. Next thing we know, we see Keisha. The feds come and tell her that her shop is closed down again because it has Tasha's name on it as well. I said, "Oh, God." So it begins. Oh, no. She was like, "What are you doing here? I don't know how to read this. I don't know how to read this stuff." It's like, "Look, the paperwork says that we can shut you down, so that's what we're doing." "Oh, this is messed up. All y'all so effed up. How dare y'all?" Next thing we know, the same thing happens to the club. So now the shop, the club gets closed, and now Dre's like, "Look, we have some problems. We have some problems, Julio. Call me that. Now. Next thing we know, everyone gets home. When I say everyone, Reek, Raina, and Tasha, they're home. Tasha gets a call from Keisha. It's like, "Wait, what? The shop is closed. Oh my God, I'll change my clothes and I'll leave right now." I'm thinking, so who's going to watch your kids? Because next thing we know, Reek stays in the elevator, and that's when Raina's like, "What are you doing? Come here." I was like, "I'm leaving." "Where are you going?" And then he gives her the middle finger. I thought that he did that to Tasha, and that's how I said, there's no coming back from that. That's what I was like, how can you come back from that? But at least, as far as I know, that's the only, unless he does it again, which is possible. As far as I know, that was the only time he did it. So it was to Raina. It was to Raina, and how they edited it, I thought that it was to Tasha. Unless he does it again. We'll see. Either way, he can get 5 minutes outside. Someone needs to beat his butt, because he's going to end up in so much jail or dead. One of the two. Now, Dre goes over to Kanan's house, and this is like, "Look, the club got shut down, so I don't know how we're going to move this weight." He's like, "Oh, you'll figure it out. You're a smart dude. You better figure it out, you know, if you want your daughter to continue to have her little daddy and to be safe herself." He was like, "Oh, okay." Because then he looked at Reek over there like, "Wait, what is he doing here? With all these, what is he doing here?" I was like, "Don't worry about it. Go home to your daughter." So then he tries to get Reek to leave. Reek sees the girl that he likes, and she's just like, "Oh, no, I'm going to stay, dude." And it's like, oh, okay. So now that he's there, they're going and giving him more lean and saying how much of a good job he did, giving him his, well, not his cut yet. They gave him his cut the first time. So then that girl comes over and takes him to the bedroom. They're like, "Go, man, go." And they're like, "Oh, he's never going to be the same again. He's never going to be the same again." And what ends up happening is he goes and talks to the girl, and he says, "You know what? My family's a mess. My mother and father, they're both liars. Oh, I hate being at home. That's why I'm here." She's like, "My parents don't even care where I am, so that's why I'm here." I said, dang. Watch your children. Invest in your children. She wouldn't be there if her parents was like, "You are, no, no, no. I love you. I'm sure she would have made some different choices if that was the case. It was like, did Slim go and tell you to do this? She was like, "No, I wanted to do this myself," because she went and got closer to him, put his hand on her thigh, And then they turn to each other, and that's all we see. We don't see anything else for the episode. So now, I said, oh Lord, we'll see what happens there. Proctor goes and talks to Greg's friend. I already knew Greg's friend that there was going to be an expiration date. I already knew that. So he goes, plays the tape, and it's just like, look, if we can show that Egan is involved and maybe flip it on Egan then instead of on Greg and say that Greg was in too close, we can do that. Let's try and bring back the Lobos trial and what happened there and place Egan with it instead of having James up for the murder of Greg. And I said, well, James is still screwed either way. And that's what Greg was like, I don't really care. I just want to exonerate Greg. And then he played this other tape, and there was a tape of Ruiz being killed by Tommy, and Proctor's face, his face and mouth dropped like, oh my God. Because remember, Tommy said he wanted to be there to hear everything. So now, with Tommy hearing this, and Proctor's just like, wait, who's heard this? He said, well, I didn't actually really place for anyone. Sax was the only person I told, and I don't think he ever got the words out Mike's Sandoval. So I was like, oh God, but no one has actually heard it, except for Greg. And next thing we know, Tommy comes out of nowhere. He's walking up quickly behind Greg's friend with a knife. Stabs him! Stabs him! Stabs him! Stabs him! I just looked at this. Oh, why? Why? I said, okay, that's fine. He needed to die anyway. But we got more information out of here. Tommy jumped the gun a little bit. But then again, what happens if Sax got that information? That's the only reason why I wasn't upset. Because I said, I have no emotional attachment. But Tommy did this in Proctor's house. I said, oh, Tommy, you genius. So you killed this man in Proctor's house. And it's like, oh, so now you're trying to go and get this information and flip it on me? And he said, no, Ghost heard about the tapes and wanted to get the information from Greg. That's why he was in Greg's apartment. That's why he's in jail right now. Tommy's like, oh, so Ghost had my back? Yeah, of course Ghost had your back. All right, cool. All right. Simmer down a little bit. I got you. But he needs to die anyway because he takes a knife, wipes it on Tommy's shirt. Like, now we both implicated. And then he was like, don't worry, I'll go and handle this. No. Proctor said, I know some people, I can get this handled. I said, wait a minute. Lord Jesus, that's why we knew Proctor was the perfect guy. He's as dirty as the rest of them. And now, Tommy wanted to take the laptop with the recording. Proctor said, no, I can't. No, I need to extrapolate all the information from this laptop before I hand it over, because what if there's something else on here that we can use? So then Tommy said, okay, because you're handling this, and you know what? Proctor, I like you because you're dirty, you know you are, you get things done, and I thought I was gonna have to kill you, but it's so hard to find a good lawyer in New York. So, thank God. You cool my books. So now they're all in this together for real, which is good because James, while in jail, Tony said, all right, so you deliver the money. It's like, all right, so there's going to be more where that came from. James said, no, there's not. I know that things are going to be hard for you because, and what about your wife? Here goes Tony yoking up James. It's like, so you going to stop or not? He stops and says, here's how this works. You're not getting anything else from me. Relationship is done. Why? Because I know that you had some involvement in the Robert Celese death. How would that father feel? I mean, how would that family feel once they know that you were the one involved in killing the father, the matriarch of that family? They can't necessarily come after you in jail, necessarily, but they'll definitely come after Connie, sweet old Connie. So here's this. You're going to leave the families out of this. You're not getting any more money out of me. Comprende? We good? We Gucci? All right. Oh, all right. You can go now. Ghost is finally winning. Because Ghost, when he made sure his shit, Ghost was getting ready. I said Ghost was getting ready. So now Ghost was like, wait, I mean, so James is trying to figure out, yeah, Ghost, that was the ghost in him that came out. James is trying to figure out, why am I back in trial? There's no jury, but what's going on? So their goal is to take out Proctor. And they was like, what? all of the lawyers went into the chambers, the judge's chambers, and the judge was grilling Proctor like, wait a minute, how did you not think there was a conflict of interest with you representing James and Egan when both of them are kind of tied together, they know each other, and then it was like, wait, but what's the real issue here? They knew this from the jump. Yeah, but why are you going and meeting up with Egan when you're saying there's no conflict of interest? I said, oh, I knew it. I knew they should have been more careful. Now, because of that, dang it. Now, because of that, Proctor is kicked off. He's kicked off. He's no longer James's lawyer. But the gun is being suppressed. They're not going to use the gun anymore. I said, thank God. But then once I find out what happens at the end, I'm thinking, dang it! But now the gun's not going to be used. They can't say they throw everything else out. Oh, dang it! Dang it! Now, even though this is Angela, so maybe I'm jumping ahead. Proctor now has to go and tell, what's his name? James that, no, I'm no longer representing you. Oh, this is a joke, right? No, I'm not. This is why we're meeting like this. Terry's going to take care of you. I know you don't like him, but you're going to have to trust him. They found out the connection between myself, Tommy, and you, and I can't be your lawyer anymore. I'm sorry, because he's really invested in this now, so it hurts him. And plus, Tommy's gonna put it hurting on him, so he knows that too. He goes over to Angela like, you trash bag. This man loved you. This man loved you. He put everything on the line for you. There are so many moves that we can make. And he said, no, is it going to affect her? Then no, I'm going to leave her out of it. Even when it meant him going to staying in jail, he still protected your. And she's like, no, he's not. No, he's alive. The gun, it's not his gun. He didn't do it. It's not his gun. He didn't use it. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. No, it's not, Angela. The gun. If the gun don't fit, you must acquit. It's not his gun. Check. It is not his. Oh, and you're so dense. You're so dense. This man. Why would he go and do that? So then Angela, with that bug in her head, she asked Daryl for the footage. She checks and realizes, oh my God. Oh my God. He never hit the gun there when she checks the full footage, because you see that Mike Sandoval was the last person to look at it. Sketchy. So now she's going to go to Mike, or maybe not, because that would be the dumb thing to do. Then again. So now Angela finally realized, Ghost didn't. It's not his gun. He is being framed. Oh my God. I put this man, his family, and all that in jeopardy because I was being petty and upset. Yeah, you did all that. Please like, comment, subscribe. Angela seeing the light at the end pissed me off. Trash. Come back next.